Okay folks, now it's time for me to demonstrate the BestStand lift and how to transfer a patient from the wheelchair to the bed. This being our new ProCare series BestStand lift, we've had some changes to the product. As you can tell, the colors have changed to blue and gray. Used to be a white color. We've also changed the foot plate design, made it a little bit narrower so it fits between the wheelchair wheels easier. Of course, it's removable, so we can take it off if we need to. We've changed our knee brace as well, upgraded it to a single piece foam. Much easier to clean, plus contoured for the knees. We can raise and lower the knee brace or bring it in and out so we can adjust it to the exact position we need for the transfer. We've also changed the spreader bar design to make it a little bit different bend to it, plus much more durable so it'll handle a lot more weight. So now let me show you how we can make the transfer for the patient from the wheelchair to the bed using our standard sit-to-stand sling. And we all know when we're using our sit-to-stand slings, we have to place the sling behind the patient's back. Bring the waist strap around the patient's waist, tighten it up and secure it. Now, we're going to open up the base on the BestStand so we can get around the wheelchair wheels. Approach the patient so the knee brace is up against the knees. Lock the wheels. Take the loops on the sling and connect them to the hooks. Patient's arms are always on the outside of the sling. Hold on to the handles. And now hit the up button to raise the patient up from the sitting to the standing position. While the patient is being raised up into the sitting to standing position, we always want to pay attention to the shoulder area. Make sure those shoulders aren't raising up, because if they are, the sling is pulling under their arms, not resting behind their back. We can get the patient completely standing or semi-standing. Unlock the wheels. Of course, we can close the base to make it easier for us to fit it into tight spaces. Take the patient over the bed. And now lower the patient down on the bed into a seated position. So that's how we make the transfer from the wheelchair to the bed. Okay folks, now it's time for me to show you how to use the BestStand with the Sani sling to transfer a patient who doesn't bear enough weight to stand up in a normal standing position with the sit-to-stand sling. So we're going to transfer that type of patient from the wheelchair to the bed. We get a lot of questions about the Sani sling and the need to support patients who can't hold themselves up into a natural standing position. So you can see the Sani sling is shaped like a U. It's shaped this way so I can tuck it around my patient while they're in the wheelchair without the need to move the patient. So what I do is I simply hold the sling in this fashion, tuck it behind the patient's back into about the same position that the sit-stand sling is in. I've got a little support belt that I can bring around the patient's waist that has Velcro to help secure it in place. But we have leg straps that go around the hip and under the leg on both sides of the patient. We crisscross the sling at the bottom. Now we're going to approach the patient with the BestStand. Open up the base. Same kind of maneuver where the knee brace is up against the knees. Lock the wheels. We're going to connect the upper portion of the sling to the hooks. And the lower straps to the same hooks. The patient doesn't need to hold on to the handles for this transfer. We hit the up button, and now we're going to raise the patient up out of the chair, but the patient is going to be in a seated position, but their lower body is going to be exposed, so we can still have access to the lower body for raising and lowering the pants. But as you can see, the patient doesn't need to bear any weight for this transfer. So on the ProCare series, since we've incorporated a new design spreader bar with increased weight capacity, we can do this transfer with ease. Unlock the wheels. Close our base back down. And now you can see we can transfer the patient directly onto the bed from the wheelchair using the Sani sling. Okay folks, now it's time for me to show you how to use the BestStand to transfer the patient from the bed to the wheelchair. We get a lot of questions about this transfer because the product, as we know, is a transfer from a sit to a stand position, so the patient has to be seated. So we have to help this patient into the seated position on the bed. So we can either use the bed to sit the patient up, or we can just simply assist the patient into the upright position. And then we need to pivot the patient around so their feet are over the bed and they're in a seated position. So at this point, we would grab the support sling, put it behind the patient's back, buckle it up just like we normally do. Bring the device up to the patient. The patient's knees go up against the knee brace. Lock the wheels. Connect the sling to the hooks. Patient holds on to the handles. And then raise the patient into the standing position. Unlock the wheels. Position the patient towards the wheelchair. Open the base. Leave the wheels unlocked during the lowering position. And lower the patient into the wheelchair. Now you can see how to transfer the patient from the bed to the wheelchair with the BestStand.